The movie begins with two U.S. Army soldiers, Mike Stevens and Tommy Madison, on a mission in the desert. As they wait for their target, they spot a freight of cars from a distance, while another group of people emerge from the opposite direction with a camel. They receive information on the radio that the target is Saeed Asif, a wanted terrorist. Mike is, however, hesitant to take the shot, as it turns out that the people had gathered for a wedding. The reporting officer on the radio notes that it had taken them 13 months to locate Asif, ordering Mike to shoot both the groom and Asif if he has no clear shot. Mike's reluctance leads to his gun creating a reflection, which catches the attention of Asif's guards. The guards shoot at Mike and Tommy and start to chase them down. Their GPS device gets destroyed in the run, making it difficult to report their location to headquarters. Mike and Tommy manage to escape, but have to walk across the desert for 5 hours to their new extraction point, a nearby village. As they walk, Tommy tells Mike about his son Jake and how beautiful it is having a family. Tommy questions Mike about his girlfriend Jenny and whether he has plans of marrying her soon. Mike brushes off, saying it's complicated. As they continue to traverse the desert, a danger sign catches Mike's attention, and he is worried that there might be landmines in the area they're about to cross. However, Tommy is carefree and tells Mike that the only option they have is to keep walking if they want to get to the village in time. Mike steps on something, which turns out to be a toy soldier, which he put in his pouch. As Tommy continues to walk downhill casually, he accidentally steps on a landmine which blows off his legs. Mike, while trying to help, also realizes that he was stepping on a landmine, rendering him unable to move. Mike bravely reassures Tommy to try and reach out for his dose of morphine, which will reduce his pain. Mike then asks him to reach for his backpack where the radio is, but Tommy really struggles to make communication with headquarters. Determined not to see his friend bleed to death, Mike is about to throw all caution to the wind with his landmine to go and help Tommy. Tommy, on realizing that Mike is about to be reckless, he chooses to shoot himself so that Mike can continue to live. Mike is then left alone and stranded in the desert where he has to fight to survive. Mike ties his tactical hammer to his shoelaces and uses it to pull Tommy's backpack and retrieves the radio. Mike sets the radio up and patiently waits to receive a signal. After hours of waiting, he reports that Tommy had died and he requests immediate support. Headquarters, however, inform him that due to sandstorms, the convoy will be delayed, asking him to wait for 52 hours. He laments that he has no water and that he cannot possibly survive for that long, but the major informs him that there is no other way. Radio communication then cuts off and Mike sets his timer for 52 hours. Moments later, a sandstorm approaches and Mike has to do his best to remain in his position. He successfully manages to stay still as the sandstorm passes. Tommy's body is also pushed closer to him, which he respectfully covers. He also retrieves radio batteries from Tommy's pouch, but discovers that the radio had been blown farther away from him. With 43 hours to go, Mike takes his last drops of water. He then shoots his gun in the air to try and catch anyone's attention. It is at this point that he sees a Berber from a distance. The Berber gets closer to Mike and tells him to take his next step and move on. Mike tries to explain that there is a landmine, but the Berber keeps telling him to move on. The Berber, however, takes his water bottle and leaves. Moments later, a little girl returns the bottle with refilled water. The girl then hands Mike a similar toy soldier like the one he had collected earlier. Mike gives her his toy and the girl lays the two of them down. Mike tries to ask the girl to get him the radio, but the girl gets scared and runs away. Nightfall comes and Mike tries to keep warm as he goes through photos of his girlfriend Jenny on his phone. Later in the night, he is attacked by wild animals, which forces him to shoot in different directions to defend himself. At daybreak, the Berber is surprised to see Mike is alive, calling him a very lucky man. The Berber further suggests to Mike that he should just move on to his destiny and not accept his fate of being trapped in the desert. The Berber then hands Mike his radio and tells him to free himself. The following morning, with only 7 hours left until his extraction time, the Major makes communication on the radio with more disturbing news. He tells Mike that due to a firefight, the convoy would delay for another 17 hours, asking Mike to hold on. Mike loses all hope considering his state in the desert. but the Major connects him to Jenny. Mike apologizes to Jenny, telling him that he screwed up and regrets leaving her alone to go on this mission. He then sees a vision of Jenny in front of him, and as he tries to reach, the Berber holds him back to prevent him from removing his leg from the mine. The Berber tends to Mike's wounds, as he tells him of how he also lost his leg to a mine. He further notes that though he thought losing his leg was the end for him, it was actually his turning point, since it was how he met his wife and started his family. He then makes Mike drink some herbal medicine, but warns him that it will cause some hallucinations. The Berber, who counts himself unlucky, continues to narrate all his losses in the desert, but he continues to move on regardless. As soon as the Berber leaves, Mike's hallucinations begin. He sees himself in a house with his parents when he was a small boy. He relives his childhood where his abusive father is assaulting him and his mother. He then has happy memories of him and Jenny while they are repainting their house. Then another memory where he is involved in a bar fight to rescue Jenny from 5 men who were sexually harassing her. Mike then sees his mother in hospital fighting for her life as he struggles to let go. His visions bring him back to the desert, where Tommy informs him that the convoy has arrived. Mike struggles to catch the attention of his convoy, but cannot reach his smoke grenade. Suddenly, he is shot, and as he reaches for the grenade, he reminisces his promises of love to Jenny. Then after a sandstorm blows in the desert, the happy moments with Jenny turn into violent and abusive ones. Mike now has to defend himself against a group of assailants in the desert, and he uses his sniper skills to gun all of them down. In another vision, his mother in her last moments pleads with him to be strong, while his father appears to him in the desert. His visions end with him embracing Jenny and his father, who tells him that he has to move on. Mike then sees his convoy from a distance, and as he tries to reach the smoke grenade, he makes a step, removing his leg from the mine. To his surprise, the mine does not explode. He immediately goes to check on the mine, and as he carefully digs around it, he realizes he was stepping on a can all along. He opens the can and finds another toy soldier, and jubilates that he survived the ordeal. He uses the smoke grenade to signal his location and waits as his convoy comes to rescue him. The movie ends with Mike returning home and is welcomed by Jenny at the airport, where he goes down on one knee.